Good morning, students. Today my presentation is on statistical quality control. So we'll see the different topics. What is statistical quality control? How we measure the quality of a product. So the main objectives of this session is to understand the role of statistical tools in quality improvement, understand the different types of variability, rational subgroups, and how a control chart is used to detect assignable causes. Understand the general form of a Shewhart control chart and how to apply zone rules and pattern analysis to detect assignable causes. Then to construct and interpret control charts for variables such as X bar chart, R chart, S chart, and individuals chart. And construct and interpret control chart for attributes such as P chart, NP chart, C chart, and U chart. Then calculate and interpret process capability ratios. Then ARL performance of a Shewhart control chart, and use other statistical process control problem solving tools. So first we'll define quality. What does quality means? So generally quality means what? Any product which is fit for use is known as quality. So here quality means fitness for use. So that quality may be in terms of design or it may be in terms of conformance. And quality is always inversely proportional to variability. What is quality improvement? So quality improvement is, see, whenever there is defect or whenever one product is different from the other product, that means quality of one product is better than the quality of the other product. So we say that there is a variability. So whenever that defect or whenever the difference is reduced, whenever the difference in the two products, whenever the quality or the variability is reduced, that is called as quality improvement. So quality improvement is nothing but reduction of the variability in processes and products. Or alternatively, we can define it as quality improvement is also seen as waste reduction. Now, what is statistical quality control? So statistical quality control, which is also known as SQC, it is a branch of statistics which deals with the identification of lack of quality in any production process and deriving methods to eradicate it. So there are 4 M's which we have to consider for a good quality product. What are these 4 M's? Material, machine, manpower, and management. So these are the 4 M's we consider for a good quality product. So I'm telling you statistical quality control. In statistical quality control, you have two major terms. One is process control, another one is product control. So what is process control and what is product control? So process control is whenever we are controlling the quality of a product, whenever it is being manufactured. That means whenever it is in the processing department. So when you control the quality of a product, when it is in the processing department, then that is known as process control. So this process control is achieved using control charts. See, for example, in the production of screws, controlling the variations in the diameter of the screws while the screws are being manufactured. That means we are maintaining the same diameter of all the screws when they are being manufactured. That is known as process control. And so this process control is achieved using the control charts. Then what is product control? When we are controlling the quality of the end product which is ready to be sent to the markets. That means, suppose I have a lot and the production is over and I have to find whether that product is of a good quality or not. So we'll check the product before it is being sent to the market. There, wherever there are defective items or whichever items are defective, we'll take out those defective items and send the products which are of good quality to the market. So that is called product control, controlling the quality of the end product which is ready to be sent to the market is known as product control. And this product control is achieved using sampling plan technique. So there are 7 major tools in statistical process control. One is histogram, Pareto chart, cause and effect diagram, defect concentration diagram, control chart, scatter diagram, check sheet. So these are the different methods we use for the process control. But in your syllabus, you have 6th one, that is control charts. So in control charts, you'll have, before we are going in depth about the control charts, let us see the basic definitions. See, always you will have 2 causes of variation. One is chance causes of variation, another one is assignable causes of variation. What are chance causes of variation? Variations which occur unexpectedly. That means variations which are caused by the factors which are beyond the control of human hand. Those are called chance causes of variations. So random variations, they occur unexpectedly. Example, wars, floods, earthquakes, pandemics, all these are chance causes of variation. And what are assignable causes of variation? So the variations which are caused due to the human hand, or we can define it as variations caused by factors that can be clearly identified and rectified. Those are called as assignable causes of variation. Like example, when we have a poorly trained employees who cannot produce the product of good quality, so that is assignable causes of variation. Or the machine may be defective. So all these variations, all these causes we can rectify. So always you will have 2 causes of variation SQC. One is chance causes of variation, another one is assignable causes of variation. Now what are the basic principles we follow in control chart? A process that is operating with only chance causes of variation present is said to be in statistical control. So if a process is having chance causes of variation, even then we say that the process is in statistical control. A process that is operating in the presence of assignable causes of variation, that is said to be out of control. So because we have to rectify it, then we have to bring the process under control. So this is a typical control chart. It has control limits, upper control limit, central line and lower control limit. Upper control limit is abbreviated as UCL, central line is abbreviated as CL, and lower control limit is abbreviated as LCL. So a typical control chart has control limits set at values such that if the process is in control, so all the points, if all the points lie within these 3 lines, then the process is said to be under control. If any one of the point falls outside these 3 limits, outside these 2 limits, upper control limit and lower control limit, then we say that the process is not under control. So these are the basic formulas, general formulas for UCL, CL and LCL. UCL you have mu W plus K sigma W, CL will be mu W and LCL will be mu W minus K sigma W. So here K is the distance of the control limits from the central line. Mu W is mean of sample statistic. If it is mean, we'll take X bar. Sigma W is the standard deviation of the statistic, say W. What are the uses of the control charts? So most processes do not operate in a state of statistical control. Consequently, the routine and attentive uses of control charts will identify assignable causes. If these causes can be eliminated from the process, variability will be reduced and the process in turn will be improved. The control chart only detects assignable causes. Management, operator and engineering action will be necessary to eliminate the assignable causes of variation. So you have 2 types of control charts, variable control charts and attributes control charts. So variable control charts are applied to data that follow a continuous distribution. Attribute control charts are applied to data that follow a discrete distribution. So control charts are very popular because they are proven technique for improving the productivity. They are effective in defect prevention. Control charts prevents unnecessary process adjustment. They provide diagnostic information, and control charts provide information about process capability. Now, what are with these variable control charts? What is a variable? First, we'll define what is a variable. So, a variable, it is a single quality characteristic that can be measured on a numerical scale. So, anything which is measurable is known as a variable. So, when working with variables, we monitor both the mean value of the characteristics and the variability associated with the characteristic. So under variable control charts, you have three types. One is X bar chart, R chart, and S chart. That is mean chart, range chart, and standard deviation chart. So control charts for X bar and R. X bar is mean and R is range. These are the different notations we should remember, which are used in this variable control chart. Small n denotes the sample size. M is the number of samples selected. X bar I is average of the observations in the ith sample. X double bar is the grand average or average of the averages. Then and Ri is the range of the values in the ith sample, where Ri is defined as maximum value of X minus minimum value of X. R bar is average range. Mu is the true process mean. Sigma is the true process standard deviation. So the statistical basis of this chart is, we assume that the quality characteristics of interest is normally distributed with mean mu and standard deviation sigma. So if x1, x2 up to xn is a sample of size n, then the average of the sample is x bar equal to, we know sum of the observations divided by number of observations. That is x1 plus x2 plus xn by n. Here, since x bar is normally distributed with mean mu and standard deviation sigma, then the standard deviation of x bar is sigma by root n. And the probability is 1 minus alpha, that any sample value will fall between mu plus z alpha by 2 sigma x bar, which is nothing but mu plus z alpha by 2. Sigma x bar is sigma by root n. And mu minus z alpha by 2 sigma x bar, that is mu minus z alpha by 2 sigma by root n. So these are the limits. So these limits can be used as, this is the upper limit. If you have plus sign, it is an upper control limit. And if you have minus sign, it is a lower control limit, provided we know these parameters. Now, how to design a control chart? So suppose a problem is given to you. We have a process that we assume the true process mean is 74 and the process standard deviation sigma is 0.01. Samples of size 5 are taken. So the standard deviation of this mean x bar is sigma by root n. So 0.01 by root 5. So 0.0045 sigma x bar. Now the control limits can be set at 3 standard deviations from the mean in both directions. So these are called as the 3 sigma control limits. UCL is x double bar or mu plus 3 into sigma x bar. So mu is 74 plus 3 into sigma x bar you have calculated in the previous slide, which is 0.0045. CL central line is mu equal to mu 74. LCL is with minus, you'll get 73.9865. Now we'll plot these 3 points. So this is UCL, this is LCL, and this is CL. And these are all the sample values which they have given. Now here we can see all the sample points are lying within the upper control limit and lower control limit. So we conclude that the process is under statistical control. See here, the same way. So the 3 sigma control limits for x bar chart is UCL equal to mu plus 3 sigma by root n, LCL is mu minus 3 sigma by root n, and CL is mu, where mu is calculated using this formula, mu cap equal to x double bar equal to 1 by n summation x bar I. Similarly, average range is calculated as r bar equal to 1 by m summation Ri, where Ri is x maximum minus x minimum. And the estimator of sigma is r bar by d2. And here this d2 is the tabulated value, which will be given in your textbook. For different sample sizes, you will have this d2 values. So these are the control chart, X bar control chart from R bar. UCL is mu plus A sigma, CL is mu, LCL is mu minus A sigma. Similarly, R chart is UCL equal to D2 sigma plus 3D3 sigma, or simply we can write capital D2 sigma. Similarly, CL is small d2 sigma, LCL is capital D1 sigma. All these constants will be given in the tables, quality control tables. This is S chart, which is also known as standard deviation chart. UCL is B2 sigma, CL is sigma, LCL is B1 sigma. So all these value limits can be calculated when you know the parameters. So all these are parameters. Not A, mu, sigma. All these are parameters. So when you know these parameters or standards, we say, when you know the standards, only then you can use these formulas. And this A, D1, D2, B1, B2 will be given in the tables. See here, these are the control charts, X bar control chart limits. UCL X double bar plus A2 R bar, CL X double bar, LCL X double bar minus A2 R bar. A2 is the tabulated value. Similarly, R chart, UCL is D4 R bar, CL is R bar, and LCL is D3 R bar. Control limits for S chart is B4 S bar, CL is S bar, and LCL is B3 S bar, where S bar equal to 1 by n summation Si, and sigma cap is estimated using the formula S bar by C4. Next, you have attributes control chart or control charts for attributes. So in this first we will see control charts for proportions, which is called as P chart. So for the P chart, you have UCL is small p bar plus 3 root of small p bar into q bar by n. CL is p bar, LCL is p bar minus 3 root p bar q bar by n, all small letters. Where p bar, small p bar is the observed value of the average fraction defect. So when the population proportions are known to you, then UCL will be p plus 3 root of p dash q dash by n. CL will be p dash, LCL will be p dash minus 3 root of p dash q dash by n. Or simply this 3 and this rooted I can write it as capital A, where A will be the table value. Then you have NP chart, it is also known as D chart. We call it as control chart for number of defectives, and this P chart is known as control chart for fraction defectives. NP is control chart for number of defectives. So when the standards are known, UCL is NP plus 3 root NP into 1 minus P, CL is NP, LCL is NP minus 3 root NPQ, where Q is 1 minus P. And when standards are unknown, UCL is NP bar plus 3 root NP bar Q bar, CL is NP bar, LCL is NP bar minus 3 root NP bar Q bar. The next you have C chart. This is known as control chart for number of defects per unit. So in a control chart for attributes, you have control chart for fraction defective, control chart for number of defectives, then control chart for number of defects per unit. So when standards are known, the control limits for C chart is UCL is lambda dash plus 3 root lambda dash, CL is lambda dash, LCL is lambda dash minus 3 root lambda dash. And when this lambda is not known, then UCL is C bar plus 3 root C bar, CL is C bar, LCL is C bar minus 3 root C bar. Then you have U chart, that means control chart for defects per unit for different sample sizes. Whenever the sample sizes are changing, then we have U chart. So UCL is U bar plus 3 root U bar by n, CL is U bar, LCL is U bar minus 3 root U bar by n, where U bar is the average number of defects per unit. Now next you have process capability. Till now you have seen process control chart. Next you have process capability. It refers to the performance of the process when it is operating in control. So there are two graphical tools which helps us in assessing the process capability. One is tolerance chart, another one is histogram. So these two you don't have in your syllabus, just remember what is process capability. So the process capability ratio is defined as PCR equal to USL minus LSL by 6 sigma. USL is nothing but upper specification limit and LSL is lower specification limit. So what is process capability ratio? It is denoted by CP, and it is used to express process capability. For processes with both upper and lower control limits, we use an estimate of sigma if it is unknown. So Cp equal to USL minus LCL by 6 sigma. If Cp is greater than 1, then a low number of non-conforming items will be produced. And if Cp is equals to 1, which assumes a normal distribution, then we are producing about 27%, 0.27% non-conforming items. If Cp is less than 1, then a large number of non-conforming items are being produced. And the percentage of the specification band that the process uses up is denoted by P cap equal to 1 by Cp into 100%. So the Cp statistics assumes that the process mean is centered at the midpoint of the specification band, and it measures the potential capability. So in the previous slides, I told you specification limits. Here I'll tell you what is specification limits. So in control charts, you have control limits, specification limits, and natural tolerance limits. What are control limits? These are the functions of the natural variability of the process. Natural tolerance limits represents the natural variability of the process. Usually it is 3 sigma from the mean. Specification limits are determined by the developers or designers. So there is no mathematical relationship between control limits and specification limits. You do not plot specification limits on the charts because it causes confusion between control and capability. And if the individual observations are plotted, then the specification limits may be plotted on the chart. What is the difference between control limits and specification limits? Control limits show the actual range of variation within a process. That means what the process is doing. Specification limits show the acceptable common cause of variation that will meet customer requirements. So here the specification limits show what the process should do to meet the customer requirements. So here we can see this red line is upper specification limit and this red line is lower specification limit. You have dotted lines which are upper control limit, lower control limit and central line. So here the process is capable. Why it is capable? Because the control limits are within the specification limits. So whenever the control limits are within or on the specification limits, then we say that the process is capable. Here you can see the process is not capable because here the upper control limit, it is outside the upper specification limit. LCL, even though LCL is within the lower specification limit, upper control limit is outside the upper specification limit. So we say the process is not capable. So when do you say the process is not capable? When one or both control limits are outside the specification limits. Now what is capability and conformance quality? A process is capable if it is in control and it consistently produces outputs that meet specifications. This means that both control limits for the mean must be within the specification limits. A capable process produces outputs that have conformance quality. Conformance quality means outputs that meet the specifications. So a capable process produces outputs that have conformance quality. Okay. Thank you.